In every heart, there is a secret sorrow that the world knows not. And oftentimes we call a person cold when they are only sad. In this vast, interconnected globe of ours, we're all engaged in an unseen fight, a struggle often shrouded in silence. The invisible battle against mental health issues and suicidal ideation. It's a battle fought within the confines of one's mind, a battle that leaves no physical scars, but wounds the spirit, the will, the very essence of who we are. Mental health is as real as the air we breathe, yet its invisibility often makes it a challenge to understand, to acknowledge. Its symptoms are not as apparent as a physical ailment, but they are just as, if not more, debilitating. And among the myriad of mental health issues, perhaps none is as harrowing or as misunderstood as suicidal ideation. Imagine being in a room filled with people, yet feeling utterly alone, or standing on a crowded street, but feeling an overwhelming sense of isolation. That's what suicidal ideation can feel like. It's a constant companion, a shadow that refuses to leave, a storm that never seems to pass. It's a voice that whispers insidiously, sowing seeds of doubt, of despair, of disillusionment. But here's the thing, we can all play a role in this invisible battle. We can be allies, advocates, friends. We can lend an ear, offer a shoulder, extend a hand. We can help break down the barriers of stigma, of misunderstanding, of fear that often surround mental health issues and suicidal ideation, because recognition, understanding, and empathy are powerful tools in this fight. We need to remember that behind every stoic facade, every seemingly cold exterior, there might be a person fighting a battle we know nothing about. They might be struggling to keep their head above water, fighting for every breath, every moment of peace. And we can help. We can make a difference. We can be the light in their darkness, the hope in their despair, the calm in their storm. Remember, the battle against suicide starts with understanding and empathy. Every tear holds a story. Every smile hides a pain. Let's talk about recognizing the signs of someone who may be contemplating suicide. Recognizing these signs is crucial because it can be the first step towards providing help. Imagine someone you know. They've always been full of life, but lately something seems off. They're not as enthusiastic or as engaged as they once were. They've stopped participating in activities they once loved. Their behavior has changed, and it's noticeable. This change in behavior is one of the signs we need to be aware of. But it's not just about behavior. Mood swings are another sign to look out for. One moment, they're happy, and the next, they're downcast. They might seem unusually sad, anxious, or irritable, or they might seem unusually calm after a period of depression. These changes in mood can be a cry for help. Next, let's talk about appearance. If someone is neglecting their personal hygiene, or their grooming habits have drastically changed, it could be a sign that they're struggling. They might lose interest in how they look or stop caring about their clothes. These changes can signal that something is not right. Withdrawal from loved ones is another significant sign. If a person starts pulling away from friends and family, isolating themselves, or avoiding social interactions, it could indicate that they are going through a tough time. They might not want to burden others with their feelings, or they might feel like no one can understand what they are going through. Expressions of hopelessness can be one of the most telling signs. If someone starts talking about feeling trapped, about being a burden to others, or about not seeing a future for themselves, it's time to take their words seriously. These expressions can be a clear indication that they are contemplating suicide. The signs can be subtle and they can be loud. They can be hidden behind smiles or seen in the tears that fall. And while these signs don't necessarily mean that someone is considering suicide, they do suggest that the person is struggling and could use some help. Recognizing these signs is the first step to providing help. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. A potent truth to remember when it comes to mental health and suicide. You see, in our society, we often fear what we don't understand. And for many, mental health remains an enigma, a topic shrouded in mystery and misunderstanding. But when we break the silence, we start to unravel these misconceptions. So you might ask, how do we break this silence? The answer lies in open, honest, and compassionate conversations. We need to create a safe environment where people can express their feelings without fear of judgment or consequences. Let's say you're concerned about someone. It's crucial to approach them with kindness and understanding. Remember that it's not about solving their problems, but about letting them know they are not alone. Start by expressing your concern. Use I statements to avoid making them feel defensive. For example, instead of saying, "You seem depressed," you could say, "I've noticed you've been quiet lately, and I'm worried about you." Listen, really listen. Don't interrupt or rush them. Let them talk at their own pace and show them you value what they have to say. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. Your role is not to be a therapist, but a supportive friend or family member. Encourage them to seek professional help. Reassure them that there's no shame in reaching out to mental health professionals. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Remember, breaking the silence is a continuous process. It's about fostering an ongoing dialogue, not just a one-time conversation. It's about creating an environment where discussing mental health is not an anomaly, but a norm. So let's challenge the silence. Let's open up the conversation. Let's make it okay to say, "I'm not okay." Talking about it is not giving it power, it's taking its power away. By breaking the silence, we can help to dismantle the stigma, dispel the myths, and ultimately save lives. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intention. This old adage rings true, especially when you're reaching out to someone who might be wrestling with suicidal thoughts. When it comes to providing help and support, the first step is simply to listen. It may sound like a small thing, but it's a powerful tool. Listening, really listening, means giving your full attention, withholding judgment, and offering empathy. It means being there, present and engaged. It's about understanding, not solving. Remember, you don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes the most important thing you can offer is an ear that's ready to listen. The next step is to encourage professional help. Mental health professionals are trained to handle situations like these. They have the knowledge and the tools to provide the right kind of help. But remember, it's not about forcing someone to seek help. It's about gently encouraging them, making them aware of the resources available, and assuring them that there's no shame in seeking help. Finally, stay connected. It's not just about being there in the moment, but also about staying there in the long run. Regular check-ins, even just a simple text or a call, can remind them that they're not alone, that there are people who care about them. It's these small acts of kindness that make a big difference. And while we're on the topic of staying connected, let's not forget self-care. Providing help and support can be emotionally draining. It's important to take care of yourself too. Reach out to your own support system, talk about your feelings, and remember, it's okay to seek help for yourself as well. In this journey of providing help and support, remember that patience and compassion are your greatest allies. It might be challenging, it might be heartbreaking, but never underestimate the power of your presence. It can bring hope, it can bring comfort, and sometimes it can even save a life. Your presence can make a world of difference in someone's life. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Kindness is not just a virtue, but a choice that we make every day. In this journey of life, we encounter many people, some of whom may be fighting battles invisible to our eyes, battles that are fought in the depths of the mind, in the realm of mental health. This is where our choice of kindness can become a beacon of hope. Let's talk about reaching out. It's more than just a gesture, it's an affirmation that says, "You're not alone, I'm here for you." It's a lifeline thrown towards someone who may be drowning in their own thoughts and emotions. It's a bridge that connects two hearts, two souls in the midst of the stormy seas of life. But why should we reach out? Because silence can be deadly. Because a person may be screaming for help in their mind, but on the outside, they may appear as calm as a summer's day. Because sometimes the most powerful cry for help is silence itself. And because reaching out can break that silence, creating a supportive environment is not just about providing help, but also about promoting understanding. Understanding that mental health struggles are not a sign of weakness, but a sign of being human. Understanding that it's okay to not be okay. And most importantly, understanding that a person's worth is not defined by their struggles, but by their resilience, their strength, and their courage to keep fighting. The fight against suicide is not just a battle, but a war. A war that we can win together by choosing kindness, by reaching out, and by creating a supportive environment. So, let's make this choice. Let's reach out and let's create a world that's not just tolerant, but accepting. A world that's not just aware, but understanding. A world that's not just surviving, but thriving. Realize the power you hold, reach out, and you just might save a life.